Welcome to Downtime in the Apocalypse, a podcast where Ted talks and Kevin listens. I'm Ted.
And I am Kevin.
Now, listeners, it's been another hot minute since we've done this.
Literally minute.
Yes. Yeah. It has been very hot lately. I hate it.
But you're wearing your Hawaiian shirt, Ted. You're looking, pretty okay despite like the 1,000-degree days outside.
It is awful.
Yeah.
And, I mean, every day as I go to work, I see multitudes of people mummified by the heat being put into piles that will be combustible and burned at night during the cold times.
Yeah, when we can. What's interesting about, you say, like, mummified? I just learned about this recently, which I'm pretty sure you probably already knew about this, but there is a shortage of mummy parts. And this goes all the way back to where kings and queens, the nobility, thought that eating mummy parts would make you stay young and healthy forever because they were so preserved.
I did not know this.
So, like, they found all these mummy bits and are like, well, that makes sense, right? If we eat it, it stayed young and preserved for a very long time. So we can stay young and preserve ourselves if we eat a pharaoh or two.
So let me get this straight.
What's a female version of a pharaoh? Is it still pharaoh? Oh, okay.
Let me get this straight.
Yeah.
People decided that they should eat jerky people.
Yeah, bits of them, yeah.
For health reasons.
Yeah. Is that so surprising to you, Ted, considering all the health things that are popular or were popular back in the day?
The answer is yes, but it shouldn't be. Okay.
Can I introduce you to diet aids?
Okay. First and foremost, Kevin gave me a root beer flow Imperial Brown Ale. I'm about to try it because while I don't like root beer, Lord knows after hearing that recreational cannibalistic fact, I could really use a drink.
I gotta say, this is also a lot of buzzwords, like Imperial. You can put Imperial in front of anything, and I don't understand exactly what that means.
Okay, first and foremost, that is not bad, actually, but the vanilla is definitely there more than the root.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
See what I told you?
Yeah, true. But interesting enough, Imperial, to me, and I don't know if this is true, means has bitter aftertaste that lingers.
Oh, like imperialism?
Not what I was going for. Legitimately, most, I had a Russian Imperial Stout last week.
Yeah.
We were after work. We were all going to go. We're going to go out and have drinks at Greater Good.
Yeah. Oh, I love that place.
Me too. And especially because I work 2 minutes from it.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? Same here.
Yeah. If we didn't work different schedules, I have a feeling both of us would be crippling alcoholics.
Yeah.
Probably for the best, actually.
Hey, pause for a drink break, really quick. What were you saying about crippling alcoholism again?
I just bought 6 nips. Anyways.
To be fair to you, that was due to a tough time in you having to spend that with people. So that is understandable.
Oh, God, I got out of a baby shower today.
Oh, you did? Congratulations.
Thanks. I'll tell that story later.
Yeah.
What we were on, the heat, the mummy parts.
Yeah, we were on mummy parts and heat, and I believe that you were talking about just the sweltering heat just killing people outside.
Yeah. No, never mind. Skip all of this.
Okay. We're going right. We're
to
going
the baby shower. So,
yes. Let's go right to the baby shower.
I have a cousin who is pregnant.
Okay, good start.
And she had a sister who got pregnant fairly early on in life.
Okay.
And her older sisters had relatively rough life. She's had some mental issues and all that jazz.
Right.
Now, this cousin, Katie, not to be confused with my girlfriend, but unfortunately we're born in that decade where 1 in 4 women's name is Caitlin.
See, that to you is weird, but also my sister is dating someone named Kevin.
No, Kevin is in the same time frame.
Like,
yeah.
Like Kevin and Katie.
Kevin, Katie, Andrew, Samantha.
Yeah, okay. And here we are with a perfect world of Ted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of two.
One of two. Oh, speaking of that. But go on, baby shower.
But she did this long Facebook rant about how unsupportive her mother was being.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say anti-vax, but go on.
No, no. So, cousin Katie, if you're listening to this, fuck you.
And the hits keep on coming. All right.
Your mother, my Aunt Tammy, is a wonderful, super supportive woman. I'm sorry that she was not happy that you got knocked up.
Oh God. Okay. I'm already. I want to see how the rest of this podcast goes, but I'm getting a feeling of what the title's going to be. Might be F U Katie. I don't know. And that not. No,
Yeah,
that's too general. That's too general.
You can't do
F U Ted's cousin Katie.
that.
Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi.
Yeah. Yeah,
So rant on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw this rant and her sister chiming in. I'm like, your fucking mother watches your kid 3 times a week, has supported you, has bought her so many essentials in life.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
Right. Try to
Yeah.
not take the high horse, but just sort of like
Be an
complain.
ass.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. That's pretty bad.
I was told not to go because I was just going to pass out Planned Parenthood pamphlets.
Ted. Okay.
Yeah.
What? You know what? Let's take a step back. Well, we already stepped on the landmine as it is, I guess. We fell face first into it. And whether it blew up in your face or was a dud, we'll see. But let's continue on from there.
Yeah.
How was the rest of your week, Ted? Do anything else besides ditching a baby shower?
I worked yesterday, actually.
Oh, okay. How was that, friend?
It was all right. That being said, a lot of our members that said they were going to show up didn't.
Oh,
But they told me they were going to show up, and for a very particular reason.
Okay.
There used to be an informal Catan group.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
I love me some Catan. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're all going to play. There's a board here. We're going to be... And everyone was so excited, and then none of them showed up.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, man. It's going to be so disappointing.
Yeah, so...
Speaking of that, someone else is not...
Oh, yes, from our lack of D&D that's going to happen today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is up with Sean? Is everything okay, or is it just like... Is it hungover again?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Man, all right.
Probably, normally I drive him here. I want to know if we weren't doing this and I do it, if that would have changed things. But if he's still hungover, he'd probably be a bit of a grump, so.
That's fair. Okay. I mean, it's not fun, but it's not, fair enough, I guess. Whatever. Either way, and did you have any particular rations other than what I have provided you today, my friend?
I'm trying to think. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a bit.
And I'm thinking of everything I've ate, and the majority of them have been very dull.
Oh, okay. I mean, I would say even anything that kind of like surprised you. Like, let's go with, slim it down just like a little bit here, because it has been like a little while.
Yeah. Oh, that cactus stuff you brought.
Oh, yes, to the Fate Accelerated thing.
Yes.
Yeah. I forget what it's called. I think it was just like called cacti or something like that.
Yeah, and it was like a liqueur mixed with cactus juice to make a beer-like substance.
Yeah, it was somewhere in between that. Yeah. And that was, we had like lime, pineapple, and it was like strawberry and like one other kind of flavor.
Yeah, I remember strawberry being the best.
Yeah, out of that whole... Oh, yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I have to get you to try something else during this, I suppose, which I was re-listening over to the... when I was, like, editing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just, like, released that latest video and everything like that. But you talked about rhubarb.
Yes.
Quite a bit. I have a beer that might interest you today that tastes a little bit like rhubarb. Just like this tastes a little bit like vanilla root beer. So that should be interesting to go on later.
Like I said, it's a root beer float, and the vanilla ice cream part of the root beer float is definitely the king of this beer.
What is the flavor of root beer to you? Because I always think like molassesy kind of.
That's a good way of putting it.
So I can understand why people don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of molasses in general.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I mean,
Look, molasses has one use.
Okay.
Rum.
Okay, I see. Where's all the rum gone?
Yeah. If you have a very, very skilled chef,
yeah,
or baker, I suppose, a cookie is also acceptable.
Yeah, no, I can see a good cookie.
I've had one person make good molasses cookies.
Professional or just homemade?
Uh, somewhere it was the chef or cook at Valley View.
Oh, okay. So,
Like her and her husband owned a
right.
farm, and they were all like the farm fresh people.
Okay. Molasses is just sugar, isn't it? Or
Yes.
okay. Is there anything more to it than that, or is it just like sugar?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Okay. That's fair enough. Yeah.
I could have told you at one point in my life.
When you're more involved in that.
Yeah, but I know I've tried molasses on things,
Right.
and I hate it.
Okay.
I mean, my father's from the South, so he just have several jars of molasses lying around, and he'll just put it on crap. It's like, who needs maple syrup when you got molasses?
I would argue maple syrup is much better than molasses.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. But you were born up here.
Yes.
So that might just be infecting your taste buds, I suppose.
You say that, but I also really like okra and grits.
I feel, you know what? Does where we come from always kind of influence our tastes, or are we born with a certain preference? Really,
Both.
both
Both.
nature and nurture,
Yeah,
kind of with like flavor profiles.
Yeah, like claiming one or the other is just a false dichotomy.
I guess so. I like, for example, we both like spicy things.
Yes.
And we're white American people.
Yeah.
Sorry, former America. Right
Yeah,
now, Duncan Empire.
People.
Yeah.
That being said,
Dunkinites.
I had to be trained to up to like spice.
Okay, so you're like slowly over time introduced and then just climb from there.
Yeah, so I can actually tell you why I like spicy food. So there was a Chinese restaurant named Artie's.
Okay, I've never heard of it.
It was in Spencer.
Okay, gotcha.
It was one of the best restaurants ever.
Wow, all right.
And my family and I went there all the time, and that was the first time I had General's House chicken.
Okay.
And she made it from scratch and super spicy.
Nice. All right.
And I first loved the taste but hated the spice. And I more or less Stockholm syndrome myself into liking spice. Which, fun fact, spice isn't a flavor; it's a type of pain.
Yeah, it's almost it's something your body tells you not to eat because it is spicy, so you're not supposed to eat it. But here we are.
Yep.
Yeah, it's also good for you technically, so that's not bad either, I guess.
No, it's not bad. It's just weird.
It's just weird. You're right. Was it masochistic?
Yeah, and Kevin and I routinely flagellate ourselves in this way. Hell, even last week or the week before, we decided to do shots of ultra hot sauce.
Oh yeah, and yeah, that was true. That was for birthday celebrations.
Yeah. So.
Thanks again, by the way, Ted.
You're welcome. Happy birthday. So yeah, we're just kind of masochistic idiots, I guess.
Yeah, I would say 90% of the human race. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What about you? What rations have you had?
As for rations, of course, we already talked about the beer and everything. I've been also getting into trying to remake that Mexican lemonade, which we had today. So, did everything by scratch. Made the habanero agave syrup. So if you tasted like a little spice in there, that was me like chopping up a few habanero peppers and putting it on the stove with some agave nectar and just like letting it boil for a little bit.
Okay.
And then putting like a bunch of sugar and some Bailey into like a saucepan, and then having that as like a simple sugar and like squeezing a bunch of lemons and stuff, and then pouring like so much mezcal into that. It was insane. I think I did that wrong, but it tastes okay.
All right. So besides doing some pretty complicated recipes, what have you been doing in your enclaves and shelters?
All right. So I've been thinking a lot about money. Money is an important thing that we all must kind of invest in, or used to invest in before bartering and trading got back into style again.
I mean, you can still use a Dunkin' credit.
You can still use a Dunkin' credit, but have you ever heard of Dunkin' Coin?
Is that a thing? I will buy Dunkin' Coin.
It's not a thing yet, but I think we can talk the Empire into it. So I've been getting more into cryptocurrency recently. And by the way, this is not me telling you to get into cryptocurrency. I would suggest nobody gets into it because it's a stupid idea. But
anyways, I did think Kevin's Facebook profile got hacked yesterday.
That is true
because he sent me something about cryptos.
I wanted to see if I could get some free Bitcoin, which I didn't, not yet. But I'm gonna keep on casting that line and see what I can pull in. But it's it's an interesting dichotomy because I've been I love to watch things implode from kind of like even when I'm in it. Like that's also why I like gambling because I like to watch basically myself not always lose, but it's more constant than not. So
It's a
masochistic.
yeah. The therapist I once saw said, yes, self-destructive behaviors are generally a way for punishing ourselves
Yeah,
for perceived wrongs.
yeah. I one thing that is very interesting to me too, and something I'm sure everyone has heard of, but like Ponzi schemes.
Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of these cryptocurrencies, a lot of like terrible ones, are just Ponzi schemes in disguise. So, for example, like an influencer will say, "I don't know, try to save the kids," for example, and some of you might have heard of that because that was a giant scam that promoted that every transaction of a certain crypto coin that they were trying to sell would go to saving the children and trying to rug pull millions of people by pretending that this coin was going to go to the moon, as they say, and skyrocket in value, but actually holding all the coins for themselves, and then at the last minute, just selling off all the coins while everyone's buying in to make like a quick profit.
Yeah, pump and dump schemes because
Yes.
there is no regulation on the crypto market.
Yep.
That's what they're for.
Yep. Exactly. So these are all the coins without utility. And the ones with utility like Bitcoin, not Doge, because
Ethereum.
Ethereum's another good one. You have like Graph, you have AMP, you have like there's like a million and two of them, but all those coins have some sort of form of utility that will keep them going for like at least a while or appear less scamish than they are. So I've been getting
Appear less
scamish than they are. So well, I mean, all of this is not even going into let's say like Tether, which that's a whole different problem with the entire cryptocurrency market. That if that goes under, then everything's going to go like belly side up for all of these other cryptocurrencies because all of it is based in Tether, basically.
Yeah, plus, I mean, a lot of them didn't, except Ethereum, which is why it's my favorite, doesn't take into account the 51% problem with the ledgers and everything.
Yeah.
So, and don't get me wrong, Ethereum isn't perfect. They had to kind of reboot it after a little bit because it wasn't perfect, but it's the best.
It is the king of the mountain in my perspective so far.
Yeah, well, it solves the one problem with Bitcoin's transactional issues and a few other things.
So, I mean, yeah, that's what I've been getting into, and that's a rabbit hole in of itself. And I want to say thank you to two YouTubers that got me into this. One of them is named CoffeeZilla, who is an awesome YouTuber that goes over internet scams. And another is Mudahar, or That Ordinary Gamer, who also goes over these same crypto scams and other things that just interest him perchance. So if you haven't seen those guys, definitely watch them. They're on YouTube. They're both awesome. Anyways, going away from there, let's talk about something that we did together as two good friends that's not Dungeons and Dragons or Fate Accelerated, where we spend most of our time.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin, I didn't say what I've been doing.
What have you been doing, Ted?
Well, I've been listening to more audiobooks, and I just finished all the Harry Potter books.
So, how Dumbledore killed Severus Snape with a dragon bone?
That would be way cooler than what happened.
Yeah.
So, having re-listened to all of it,
yeah,
I'm actually going to double down on Snape's an asshole.
I don't think you should because it's going to be a bad look for you. Just like
I've talked to a lot of people about this, and apparently your view is kind of like the post after, like, oh, Snape was the good guy kind of hipstery view, and you've just kept on to that while the Harry Potter fandom in general has thought that is completely wrong. He was an asshole.
So okay. Is this also the same fandom that is going to say that let's I don't want to get like too deep into this, but that say Hermione was an African American girl?
No, actually, most fans don't like that because
I don't like it either.
Well, in the original first edition of the Philosopher's Stone, it says white.
Yeah, no, I know.
Now, in the Americanized version, that was taken out, and while that they could have had that, it was probably a pretty minor change, actually. I mean, they also changed the title of the book, so that I don't think that was there for any particular reason.
Right.
But no, actually, the general idea, like really hardcore Potter fans, is that's stupid. You wrote this in the '90s. Stop trying to retroactively make this progressive.
Well, it's all pandering.
Yes, but the weird part is the people that like there isn't anyone she's pandering to. There's people she thinks she's pandering to, but no one ever likes these ideas.
No, that's the out of touch understanding.
Yeah, just leave it as is. It's like if someone asks, "Why didn't you do this?" Oh, you're right. I should have thought of that. That's the answer.
Let me create a whole new series that is, I don't know, inspired by some new ideas, maybe.
Yeah, except have you watched the second Fantastic Beasts Where to Find a movie?
Yeah.
Oh my god! I watched that recently, and
So bad, huh?
it's like, wait a minute. So the bad guy is trying to stop the Holocaust?
Yeah. Yeah.
It got real weird real quick.
It's very it's hard. It's very hard because he does kill children.
It's weird. It is so weird.
Yeah, it's like they tried to make a character that was a little more depthful than Voldemort, but they just ended up making a bad movie. I don't like anything about this movie.
No, and even the first one I wasn't a big fan of.
I thought the first one had some potential.
Oh, yeah. Though weirdly enough, I can't remember his name. There's a normal human guy who kind of gets wrapped around. He's kind of fat.
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah, he wants like a loan to start a bakery and everything.
Yeah, it's like a nice little story.
If they just made the movie about this man trying to make a bakery, I would have loved it because I liked just that character. I was like, I want to see this man like succeed at becoming a baker.
Yeah, instead he gets mind controlled into having a relationship with a woman that's a witch that's controlling. There's a lot of stuff going on with that.
So, God, that movie's like seriously. I have no idea where any of it came from or why.
Yeah. It's a bad movie.
And besides that, I have had a bunch of editing actually.
Oh.
So my job has an in-house news story thing every week.
Yes.
And I have recently learned how to use iMovie.
Nice, good.
And now I film, organize, and produce most of the segments. Except actually recently one of our members is a amateur comedian.
Oh, okay.
And he has been writing the scripts, and they are delightful.
Nice. That's awesome, man.
Yes. You can definitely tell when he writes them out. Like we have very different styles.
Yeah.
That being said, I have been given the power to edit these things, and I have abused it. This week, I decided to add unnecessary censorship.
Nice.
To the bloopers, because there weren't enough actually funny bloopers.
I like that idea. That's actually pretty funny. I like that.
Yeah, the main guy who just like one of our newscasters.
Yeah.
Anchorman. I was like, okay, I did these things, but I want your consent before I show. So I'm going to give you a private showing. And I will delete these scenes if you don't like them. And he was dying laughing, so it worked out quite well.
That's awesome, man. Okay, nice.
Yeah, it's very easy to make someone look like they're saying something horrible.
Yeah, that is very interesting, actually. Yeah, as most news outlets will teach us. Yes,
it is very easy. Just adding beep.
Yeah, that's so smart. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. Man,
watch out. Jim's under observation. Yes, Jim. He's very beep beep beep.
Man. So building up your repertoire as Brian, the tech overmind overlord, basically.
Oh, not even joking. I'm so happy about that. We're actually getting we got a grant.
Oh.
So we are getting about $3,000 worth of film equipment.
That's amazing.
Week.
That's amazing.
So we're getting soft light boxes, auto stabilizing, what they call tripods. We're getting green screens of 3 different types.
That's amazing. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, so yesterday I was literally like, the weekend can be over now.
Yeah.
I'm super psyched for Monday.
happy to hear that, man. That's great.
Yeah, so I will be fooling around with several $1,000s of equipment that I've never used or seen before, and still will be treated as the expert.
You know what? Yeah, you're in a good position.
I'm in a great position.
Yeah, you are in a good place right now.
Hell, I got to put the Benny Hill theme in the Bruce broadcast. The intro to our thing was the...
That's probably my favorite.
Yeah. Well, that was a montage of our trip to the Crystal Caves mini golf course.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Our intro, which we have a theme someone else put together. Not a theme, like a opening.
Right.
I put Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band to it. The last thing was, we hope you will enjoy the show before transitioning. I had real fun editing this stuff.
Nice, man. That's awesome.
Yes, and I actually know how to use a Mac now.
You know what? I'm not going to learn that ever, but I appreciate you for learning it.
I didn't think I legitimately did not do certain things at work because it required us going on the Mac.
Okay.
I'm still not great at it, but I can use it now.
I'm going to put up my fingers and just cross it off as a thing I'm going to be doing. I mean, I will not touch any Apple products.
That's fair.
So, that's just me.
Yeah, that being said, I might buy a fake Apple product soon.
Oh, a Fapple?
Fapple. Nope, don't like that.
What are you getting a Fapple?
It's a flask Fapple.
Oh, a flash Fapple?
Yeah, so you can get a fake iPhone that folds out and then where like the charge port is, and pull out a little straw, and it's just a flask.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's really good, actually. Steve Jobs is rolling in his iPad.
A couple of friends of mine were talking of the best hidden flasks we could find, and okay, so the best one by far is unfortunately not a real option for me.
Okay, why is that?
Because they're sports bras.
Oh, that isn't a real option for you whatsoever.
No, I don't even think it would come in my size if I wanted one.
Katie?
We'll talk. I don't think she's not a big drinker though.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just something I thought was the funniest thing ever. Like, we're looking at fake flasks, and it's like sports bra, and like, okay, there's got to be a men's version of something, and it was a tie, and it looked awful, and you could definitely tell it was something stupid. Yeah.
Doesn't have any subtlety to it whatsoever.
No, actually, when it comes to fake flasks, really, women have like the better end of the deal, because the other one is there was a purse that basically had a straw you could pull out from the bottom, and you could just pour in a bottle's worth of wine into one bit, and it was still a functional purse.
That's really smart. Yeah, I would like to imagine like a bow tie. So you just have like the you know how you have like the whole ribbon around like the bow tie there. So you just have to get like a clip on. You fill it up with your favorite type of like alcohol. It's like a line going around like the neck under the shirt collar, and then you just take out a little straw.
You've lost me already. I refuse to wear a clip on.
A clip on flash though
is better. Though actually, I feel like this would not be an issue if we wore clothes that were designed for flask wearing. So, like, you're not supposed to wear a flask in like normal thing. You're supposed to wear it with a suit. Like
it's supposed to be going like yeah. No, you're right. You're right. It's just it's very Mad Men. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But Ted, it's time we face something here.
The music.
Yes.
So we watched Bill and Ted Face the Music. And, okay, let's give our non-spoiler review first. Kevin, what did you think of this movie?
Above mediocre.
Yeah, I'd say it's about average.
Yeah. So that's what I would say first if you don't want any spoilers on this movie whatsoever. It is not a bad movie. It's not better than the other two I watched previously.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah.
And the one thing I will say, like, I do have negative, and I'm kind of sad I have to say this, I was disappointed in Keanu Reeves.
Doesn't seem like he's fully there, huh?
No, he's really, like, even if he's trying not to act like fully there, like in the previous movies, it doesn't come, it comes off as this is a man who has lost some of his mental faculties.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
When it's younger, he's just kind of a, idiot or high, and you can kind of excuse that.
Yeah.
When you're older, it's like, oh, does this guy need to go to a home?
Yeah.
It's like, does this guy have early onset dementia? Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, it's sad. It's very sad. This is also in stark contrast to what he is known for today. which is, you know, John Wick.
Which is an excellent series.
No, it's great. It's I mean, it's so weird to kind of go between those two things, though.
So, interesting enough, I was actually excited to watch this movie because I've liked him so much in the John Wick movies.
Yeah, so kind of disappointed you there.
Yes, like that's why it's the one thing I really have to say about this movie is because I was thinking like, oh, Keanu Reeves. I was like, I normally don't have favorite actors.
Yeah,
I do my best not to learn their names because I feel like it actually removes something from the story.
right. Can't buy into it as much.
That being said, there are some exceptions, and Keanu Reeves is one of them. The other one is Leslie Nielsen.
That is interesting that you say that because they both are people who play people that kill people a lot.
Yes, the difference is when it comes to Leslie Nielsen, the stupid person that's funny is his typecast.
Yeah.
Compared to Keanu Reeves, emotionally stunted at best serial killer.
Yeah. Yeah, there we are. Yeah. You know what? That's fair enough. But just as we'll say, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, all right.
6 out of 10.
We'll
6 out of 10.
We'll give it a more precise rating out of a decimal-ish.
Yeah, a non-Euclidean understanding of it.
We don't give ratings out of 10. That's for the people that just want the quick take.
Yeah.
We'll give you the real nitty-gritty of it.
Yeah, and as we go through the plot. So, Ted, would you like to start us off with how this movie opens?
Sure. 20 years since the last movie.
Yes.
And Bill and Ted, they have lit their candle at both ends. And wow, it burns twice as quick. Oh, the glow.
Please go on.
And they are now playing a wedding for their stepmother's / sister-in-law / high school crush.
Wedding to his brother.
Yeah, so there's a woman in the first two movies who marries
her name's like Mindy.
Yeah, who marries Bill's dad.
Yeah.
Then divorces and marries
Ted's dad. Yeah.
And now divorces Ted's dad.
And is now married to Ted's younger brother. Who, which that is so wow. That's a lot of stuff going on. But I do like the opening speech of Ted's where he's like, yeah, and she used to be my mom, but now she is my dad's son. Or my dad's her son. Anyway, we're going to play some new music for you. And they play what the kids call a banger.
Yeah, so actually this opening song is supposed to be awful.
Or at least like weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not what I play at a wedding.
Yeah.
That being said, if it actually had like a studio, I actually feel like it'd be pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Ted rocks the theremin.
Yeah.
And he plays with his head, which makes a lot of people in the audience boo. Which I take earnest with. Actually, I have seen a man play the theremin, like not like as like a comedy thing. This man headlined a concert. Sorry, it's been a long time since shows were a thing.
Yeah.
But headlined a concert at the Palladium.
Wow. Okay. And he played the theremin with his head, literally.
Yes.
Wow. You know what?
While singing and playing guitar, and did them all well.
Good on him.
Yeah. If you ever want to know the band, it was Coheed and Cambria.
Coheed and Cambria.
Coheed and Cambria.
Oh, Coheed and Cambria. Gotcha. Okay.
Let's see. They have one song that it's not even their best song by far, but it was in like Rock Band or Guitar Hero.
Oh, nice.
So just let me look up the song because I do not remember which one was in Guitar Hero.
Okay. You keep looking, and I'll keep going with this. So, after we go through a disastrous showing of their new music there, we get introduced to Bill and Ted's new kids, who have some of the worst names ever, which is like Billy, or just like basically Bill, and then like Tia or Theodore, and it's also like Ted. So
Yeah, it's really weird. Oh, Welcome Home.
oh, Welcome Home. Okay, that's the name of the song. Welcome Home.
Well, did you play any like Guitar Hero?
Not really. I wasn't too much into it.
Okay, neither was I.
Yeah.
But it's a banger song, and it was like.
Don't unironically say that. Don't unironically say banger. You don't even get started on saying banger like it's a thing you say. I've never heard you say that ever in your life.
No, but I just
this is the first time you've said it ever. You don't try that.
I like the way it sounded.
I
just saw a movie where it was like 50 times. It's now part of my vocabulary. And Welcome Home by Cody Cameron is a banger song.
Oh my god! Don't say you do not have. Don't say banger. You would.
Why don't I have the right to say that?
I'm not saying I didn't say that. I didn't say you didn't have the right to say banger. I'm just saying don't say it.
Why does it provoke this reaction?
I feel you're jumping on a bandwagon of banger, which I don't think you're ready for. So I think you should not say it. This is just a friend to a friend. Okay?
It was a banger.
You on your grave. Oh God, I'll get to this later, but just don't. You don't have to say it. Just don't say it.
I don't have to. I really want to.
I know you do, but just like take that part of you that just like hates me for some reason and just like pull it back.
See,
pull it back a little bit.
I don't understand why you have this
reaction. I hate myself for saying that, ironically, and I hate you for saying it ironically and as a joke to me.
Was there any ironic statement in when I said that initially?
Oh, God.
Because I did not think you were going to have any reaction to me saying that. That was not an intentional word choice.
But afterwards it was.
Well, yeah, but I still maintain it fits.
Okay. All right. I don't want. You know what?
Kevin, you have to stop introducing me to things you hate.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair.
I mean,
I should have known better.
I was very tempted to begin this episode with Welcome to Talkin' Charlie, a podcast where we go through Charlie Breaker's life and Kevin tells us why he'd simp for him.
That is the worst. You are the worst person ever.
Yes, I didn't, but...
Which you did now, but...
Yeah.
So whatever. What a banger.
Exactly.
You are the worst. Let's go from there and go more and you talk. Freaking so pissed. All right, keep going.
So now they have a lot of issues you can imagine. They are washed up celebrities with not that much money, and
I think still living with their parents.
No, their 24-year-old children are living with
their.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Millennial problems. Am I right?
Thanks, Kevin. Now I hate myself too. Anyways,
mission accomplished. All right, go on.
So, anyways,
we got him.
So, anyway, they're
throw that joke right in the ocean.
They have to go to marriage counseling.
Oh God, yes, I love this scene. Okay,
and it's couples counseling, and both of them think it's a great idea that Bill and Ted and their respective princesses should all go to marriage counseling together, or couples counseling, which the princesses and the marriage counselor were not in favor of.
So, you know what's weird about that? Now I'm just like thinking about it. Why did the marriage counselor allow that to be booked, though?
Well, I'm assuming that, like, I don't know, Bill and Ted book it. It's like like one of them books it, and they, for the couples, and it's like, oh sure. And, like,
they thought Bill and Ted were like the couple, and
yeah.
Then it's like, but we have our wives who are conveniently here as well. We're not gay. Yeah, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that makes sense now. Okay.
That's my.
She had like a totally different marriage counseling plan.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is. I thought it was two ex-rockers turned lovers turned deadbeats. Oh.
Oh. Well.
Shit! I spent so much prep time.
I got to change my whole PowerPoint. So let's talk about your failing marriage here.
Thanks. So part of it is they won't say just "I love you" to their wife.
Yeah, they'll say "we love you" every time. So instead of like Bill saying to his wife, "I love you, babe," they'll say, "We love you, both me and Ted.
Yeah,
Love you a lot."
Eventually, it's like, stop saying it with "we." Oh, Ted and I
I love you. Yeah. So that also brings up like a lot of questions.
So many questions, and I don't want the answers.
You know what? Yeah. I mean, they also name their kids after each other, which is kind of weird.
I mean, I didn't even catch that. I thought they named after themselves. I missed that.
It's like Bill's kid is like Tia, Ted, and then Ted's kid is like Billy, Bill, and then at least that's what unless I got that completely wrong, but I think that's how that got in the film. So, which is weird.
Yeah.
So we go on from there,
But
and what's in their defense?
It
in their
doesn't
defense?
work because I'm about to say they're not creative people, but then they actually, like, their actual names were quite creative.
Right.
So I can't even give that. They put a lot of thought
into it. Yeah. So it was very it was very premeditated.
Yes.
Which
hate it.
Which also begs the question about how the wives felt about that.
I'm pretty sure I could name one of my kids after a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Without it being an issue.
But also go to marriage counseling with them?
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
Like, if I've me and Kate had a kid. Hey, Kevin, we named him Kevin.
I would feel very honored. And
As you should.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's...
If you name someone's kid after you,
you should feel honored.
You should feel honored.
Okay.
That was almost me, and then the kid was fucking born early.
Yeah. Oh.
The rule, the couple agreed if it was born on my birthday, which was the due date.
Yeah.
His name would have been Ted. 7 days early, freaking Sebastian.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Sebastian there, man. Sounds like the crab. Do.
So going to much worse music than that.
Oh yes, go on.
Also
very disappointing about this film.
Yeah. Okay, the music's okay.
Which is disappointing.
Very, because I was expecting at least this movie has an amazing budget now.
This is a very weird thing about this movie is that it took so long. They've been working on it for forever.
Oh, it's development hell.
Yeah, so I'm just happy it got out there. It's like the I hate Space Jam, by the way. I'm just gonna say this right now, but Space Jam 2 with Mr. LeBron. I think highly of myself, James, made another Space Jam movie, and it was one of the worst things that people have ever seen. But people were just happy that people made another Space Jam movie because that holds something dear to them with nostalgia.
Yeah, so I watched the first Space Jam in 2013.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty funny. I was very high at the time, so I'm pretty sure that's why.
High on life, dude, and probably something else.
Oh yeah, a lot of cannabis.
Understood. Is it kind of weird to kind of look back in that and then see a man get flattened?
Yes, absolutely. But it's a weird cartoon thing, so it was hilarious at the time.
So this is all very. You know what? Let's go away from that for a second because we can talk a lot about that. But Bill and Ted.
So they have a talk with their daughters who try to cheer them on and are going to help their dads write.
They're super supportive.
Yeah, they're great kids.
Yeah.
And while they are literally showed having no musical talent whatsoever, they never touch an instrument.
Yeah, they're good at listening and liking music.
Yeah. So, they also seem to have a very firm grasp with music theory.
Yeah. And they appreciate good music there.
Yeah, I'm not going to give them crap. They clearly know their stuff.
Yeah, okay.
If it ended up with... And then they both went on to get doctorates in music history or theory.
Yeah, that would be apropos.
Yeah, it would seem about right, because they're definitely very astute. They're smarter than their parents. not a great bar, don't get me wrong. If you set the bar at the floor, hilarious to have to not trip.
Yeah.
But, they seem to know what they're talking about when it comes to chords and music theory, and definitely know they're musicians.
Yeah, as will be explained later on in the film.
Yes, it's enough. One of my criticisms of the movie. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
However, Bill and Ted, after talking to their daughters, are summoned to the future.
By Rufus's daughter.
Does she get a name?
No, I don't remember. Let's say Joanne.
Sure, she is not nearly as iconic as Rufus was.
No, Rufus was really cool. IRP George Carlin.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she was just not as good. Like, don't get me wrong, those are giant shoes to fill. I'm not going to give the actress too much crap.
I mean, she's also like a comedian.
Yeah, I recognized her, but I could not remember her name either.
Yeah.
It's like, why? It was a weird choice.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, but it's because you can't have George Carlin there because he's dead. So, what are you going to do?
I don't know, get someone who could play off a serious role like that.
Yeah, I guess.
Rufus was, the part that made him interesting was everything was completely deadpan serious.
Right, and then just like those guys kind of like acting off of his deadpan seriousness.
It was great. He was the perfect straight man.
Yeah. He was my old teacher. Yes, he was my gym teacher.
that was so good.
That was really funny. This movie doesn't have that.
No, and they were summoned to the future.
Yeah.
And they see the great...
If you didn't see that, Ted had like little jazz hands going on with that.
They're summoned to the future.
Live long and prosper, dude.
And they're called before the great ones. And they're told they have 77 minutes.
Let's create a song that's going to unite the whole entire world and stop it from imploding on itself.
Yes, or else the timeline implodes as well. So the stakes have been raised for no apparent reason.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, they didn't even do anything with it. They had like some funny B-roll footage, but it's not like...
Well, yeah, like Jesus being transported to George Washington's crossing the Delaware.
Yes, which was funny, don't get me wrong.
Funny.
But you know what would be really funny? If they're just like going along and like as they're in like a retirement home, like the woman addict gets replaced with like Genghis Khan and they like, it's like, oh, old friend, and like hug him.
Oh, that would have been amazing. That would have been awesome.
Like, they did nothing with that.
Or like Joan of Arc or something like that.
So, like, you could like, or just have like someone that famously looks like a different person they know. It's like, it's like, or like it's Genghis Khan or like his son. And it's like, oh, Obadiah, there we go. It's like, I know your dad.
Your dad told stories of us. Yeah. Those weird white men from the different time. Those weird white devils from a different time.
Like, that would have been hilarious.
You remember when I put on hockey gear and I beat up some security guards in a mall?
You could have done so much with this, and they did nothing. They had such a good premise, and they ignored it.
So what I thought would be kind of like fun and interesting would just be instead of like going just to like the future, just like going to different like timelines.
Yes, that would have been great.
Yeah, and going to one timeline where they're like super, they're criminals or something like that, or going to another timeline where they die early, but their ghosts are playing music instead, like a bunch of like weird, stupid stuff.
But they did.
No,
so they're told they have everything they need to. Are given Rufus's watch, which says everything will make sense at the end.
Which it kind of did.
It kind of did, in the same way that the restaurant at the end of the universe is at the end of the universe. I'm aware that's a deep dive for some people.
That's pretty good, though. I like that.
Yeah, that's the next audiobook I'm starting, is the entire Hitchhiker series.
Nice.
And my high school made me write one 10-page report, and I did it on Douglas Adams.
Okay.
I love me some Douglas Adams.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
A man who, in his own autobiography he wrote, said one of the things he was most proud of is sneaking out of school, buying a Beatles record when it first came out, and then breaking into the principal's office because it was the only place he knew with a record player.
That's, you know what? That's some good stuff right there. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, probably one of my favorites, just in general.
Absolutely. I love all of his works. Actually, interesting enough, he has some excellent short stories involving Genghis Khan.
Really?
It's in The Salmon of Doubt, which is the book that's all his unfinished works.
Right.
And Genghis Khan is hilarious. So real Genghis Khan, obviously, not a great person.
Yeah. Rapist.
Had to impregnate one woman for every mile he walked.
Yeah, not a great guy.
So apparently in Douglas Adams' fictionalized version of Genghis Khan, that reputation still goes. So a woman is brought as a slave to the Khan.
Yeah.
It's like, you are now wife of the Khan, and she's worried about everything. It's like, go forth. And it's like she's going up to she's getting ready to do things, and like his assistant's like, what are you doing? Ask him how his day was.
Just spend a little time with him.
It's like you didn't do it. Nag him. It's like, what? And then Genghis Khan, like his son's trying to convince him to go conquering more, but he's like, oh, that conflicts with my vacation plans, and I have a meeting with this farmer on that day.
So just like a modernized kind of like Genghis Khan.
It's so good.
I like that idea. I like that idea a lot.
Okay, back to way less interesting stories.
Let's face the music and go on with this, I guess. Yeah.
So they're told they have everything. They're given the stupid watch with a countdown. And then they realize that they've been working for 25 years and they haven't figured out the song.
Yeah, they haven't managed to write. Through all their throat singing and experimental phases, they've lost a lot of credibility and lost a lot of fame.
Okay, I keep getting back to it, but
Is that the other thing you had to...
No, I watched a Mongolian throat singer band.
Yeah.
That did metal music with
Oh.
Mongolian throat singing.
That sounds really cool.
It was very cool.
Okay.
Okay, anyways, back to the stupid shit.
Yeah.
So they go and decide to just get the music from their future selves.
I mean, not a bad... Well, it's worked for them before.
Yeah, no, I can't really argue, but after the first attempt failed, I would have gave up.
Yeah. Yeah,
because if you're self from 2 years from that point, you don't have the song, then they didn't get the song in time to have the song.
Well, if they... Because time itself would, collapse, right?
Well, no, just because that loop would be complete.
Ah.
So, so the idea... Unfortunately, this gets wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. And,
yeah.
Now, the problem is, one, we can only make decent guesses about how time works in our world. And even saying that's not how time works, how the fuck do we know?
Fair enough.
So
all you can have is a theory and maybe a thought, and it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So my thought was that they would give up after the first jump to 2 years from that. It's like, oh well, we didn't have the song in time, so we need to do something different.
Yeah. And
then I expected them to, because death was suspiciously not in this movie.
Yeah.
So I suspected that they'd go to the afterlife and meet death and everything, which I was right, but not how.
I would think maybe they make a deal with the devil.
Yeah, see, there were so many cool things.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool ideas there, but
instead they meet themselves in the future.
Yeah.
Who are in way worse straits than they are.
Yeah. I believe one of them has a drinking problem.
Yes, Ted is now an alcoholic.
Yeah. Yep.
Given that I've spent far too much money on alcohol today.
Well, Ted, let's go past that and just look forward and just don't look back, I guess. But yeah, Ted develops a drinking problem.
Yeah, man, I can't say that.
It's okay. Ted from the movie Bill and Ted Face the Music develops a drinking problem,
and Bill's just kind of there, and they're playing a bad hotel, and they tell the current incarnation of themselves that they've lost their wives, and it's because these two dumbasses go back in time and make things worse, which then they go back in time to try to save their marriage and fail miserably, as they explain in the future how they're going to be drunks and everything.
Yeah, drunks and losers, basically.
Yeah, and then future versions of their wives come to take their wives to try to find a timeline
where they're happy
with Bill and Ted.
Yeah, and apparently they never find that timeline.
Asterisk on that.
Asterisk on that, but that's what Ted says to Bill.
To the best of his
Future
understanding,
Ted.
that was true at the time.
At the time, yes. Oh my God. So they traumatize a woman who's just trying to do her job.
That poor Cupper's counselor.
Yeah.
She was already having trouble with I double book for clients.
Yeah, they both arrived at the same exact time.
And the two ones that seem relatively sane say they're princesses from the
1400s, yeah, as well as trying to book them for like, I need you for like 5 days a week. You need a lot of help. You need a lot. I'll pay. You need a lot of help.
Yeah, which fun fact, no therapist would suggest that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't imagine
therapy
that at all.
has pretty radically diminishing returns.
Oh, so the more you do with less. Okay.
Yeah, so
that's interesting.
Yeah, so like twice a week is probably the max that you really could do.
Right.
Unless you have very particular issues.
Yeah.
But unless you're in like a rehab camp where the entire thing has a sort of milieu.
Right.
You don't want to go more than twice a week.
Okay, that makes complete sense to me. So there's
I'm a mental health professional. I actually take advice from me. I do have years' experience in this film.
And also a tech professional. Thank you. So
I had my 10-year class reunion.
Oh, nice. How'd that go?
It was we got really weird explaining what I do for a living. I'm
I can
a
imagine.
social worker and IT guy. And it was really weird.
And I majored in philosophy.
And yes, I do live in this country now. I understand why you're confused by that. It was really weird. It's like, wait, you live here now?
Yeah. Which, Ted, by the way, I'm super happy about. I'm so glad you're here. You and your goddamn banger freaking bastard.
Oh, it's catching on!
It's not. It's not. I'm just saying that.
Kevin's gonna say it unironically next.
No. If I do, I will bite my tongue. All right? That's what is going to happen.
I'll get the Band-Aids ready. Okay. So, they then decide they need to go farther in the future.
Yes.
But then the B plot starts.
Yes, where his daughter. Well, there's I think there's 2 B plots technically, because one of them is that the Grand Leader decides she wants to kill Bill and Ted.
Yes, because the different interpretation of the prophecy
is that they must. I don't know how that was a different interpretation.
Die to unite the world.
Yeah, I don't understand how that's a different interpretation of from they have to make a song to you have to kill them. That's pretty radical. It's pretty off. But she sends a intimidating at first looking robot who is unnamed so far.
And this robot's off to kill Bill and Ted
with a laser.
And her daughter, which is also Rufus's daughter, decides to go and protect Bill and Ted by going to their current timeline,
current year,
and kind of waiting for the killer robot. But while they're waiting, Bill and Ted 2, the daughters.
Oh yes, younger Bill and Ted
decide to convince her to let. It doesn't work very well.
Doesn't work right. You're right.
Decide to convince her to let them use their time machine to go make a perfect band to play with their dads.
Yes.
Now, this is a decent idea, actually.
In fact,
I really wish this was the entire plot of the movie.
Instead of the B plot?
Yeah, I wanted... I thought that had potential. And it went in a different way than I expected, because they go back in time to London.
Yes,
My thought is, obviously, they're getting the Beatles.
That would have been a good get, because you have all of them there.
Yeah, well, that was my thought.
You still need Ringo, and you're fine.
Yeah, it's you're not that far off.
It'd be so funny if they just went to go get the Beatles, and they're like, "No, Ringo, you can stay. You can stay."
We got Hendrix instead.
So we'll be fine. That would have been funny.
Yeah, it's why are you not just recruiting an awesome band?
Yeah, that has all the fixings to be the best band.
Yeah, it's okay. It's what do we got? We got the Beatles and Queen with us.
Yeah.
Not a big Queen fan?
I love Queen. I think even I don't know, get Sublime.
Oh yeah, there's lots of ways.
There's lots of ways to go at it, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Beatles plus something else is probably the way I'd go.
What's also very interesting is that other than King Cudi, who's in this, there's been no rap representation whatsoever.
He doesn't rap
at all. He just explains science. They should have just got like Neil deGrasse Tyson instead.
That would have been a way more fitting fit. It's like where in Futurama, some of the best scientists are the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh God, yeah, I love
Which
that.
I feel like they were going for the same bit, but it's just I don't know.
And Bender's trying to become one. He's like,
I'm not
"Can you do it?"
I'm not even joking. Having Kid Cudi go and explain science was quite good.
Yeah,
It just felt like I've seen that bit before, and I guess I had.
yeah, we have. It's a stolen kind of bit.
Yeah. Actually, if they had Neil deGrasse Tyson in this, like playing, like if they just had him and just gave him any instrument and just had him wail on it.
Yeah, it's like, I do love music. Let me talk to you about music theory for 3 hours. Well, we only have 4 minutes, Neil. Like,
Yeah, then like give him something weird and then have him play something amazing. Like hand him an accordion and watch him go to town on it.
oh, you know what would be even better? Speaking of accordion, Weird Al.
Oh god, that would be amazing.
So, we need someone who can like just make up amazing lyrics on the fly and just has like a great understanding of lyricism. Weird Al, and then that would have been. I would prefer that. That would be great.
Weird Al would have been an excellent person for this movie in general. Actually, I'm kind of surprised he's not in this.
I would write him in there.
Yeah, it's not like he'd say no.
No, he would love to be in this. I bet.
Weird Al has done literally over 1,000 concerts. He like I went to his mindless self-indulgent tour.
Which is awesome, by the way.
Where he decided to play with the 53-piece symphony orchestra.
Mindlessly
because
indulgent.
Because he could.
Yeah.
That was literally because I can.
I love Weird Al so much.
And like part of like the screens, like it was just showing all the like TV cameos.
Oh God,
and, like,
yeah.
Clearly, some of his proudest moments in his life is being on The Simpsons.
Yes,
which is kind of, especially for the time, like, oh, how do you know you made it as a celebrity? I'm a Simpson.
Yeah. God.
God, we're making this movie so much better than it is.
I have to. Have you seen the Weird Al movie, like VHM?
I have not.
Oh, I gotta show you that. It's a really fun movie where you see a lot of like it's Weird Al, so he likes a lot of like different kind of like comedians and everything. But one of the ones he has in there is like Kramer from Seinfeld.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah, and he's just he's like a janitor who loves his mop. And he has like a whole like subplot about him just like creating like his own like little TV show just on that.
Oh man. Okay, so back to this movie.
Yeah, back to this.
You can tell how much me and Kevin enjoy the movie by how much we go off topic.
Yeah, and talk about other better things.
But they go and get it's Hendrix, right?
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix.
But he won't join because he doesn't think they're real.
Like for obviously good reason.
Yeah, because just saying you're time travelers from the future that need you to make for the best band ever, which, well, flattering. So they go back in time to get one of his musical
inspirations. Yeah,
and
that's Mr. Louis Armstrong.
Yes, which once again, not where I thought this movie was going to go. Going to give credit where credit's due. Excellent pick for one of the best musicians of all time.
I would have liked to have seen Elvis, but
yeah, well, I feel like if they went the Beatles route, we would have said Elvis.
Okay,
but
more of that kind of
side. They picked a different route.
Yeah, I mean, it also gets like it gets kind of weird from there.
It gets really weird because I was like, oh, we're just like I actually thought this was going to be kind of a music history thing where it's just going through each of their inspirations.
Right, like, and then you go like backwards and backwards and backwards to get the whole band.
Kind of is what they do, but it takes some real weird twists. So the next person they get is what, Mozart?
Yeah, they get Mozart.
For no reason. I don't know why they picked Mozart.
Well, he's
I
get musician.
Like,
it's famous. Yeah.
It's like I don't think he was Mr. Armstrong's like
inspiration at all. Like no.
I mean, I'm sure he listened to some Mozart. He clearly knew his music.
I mean, it's also not Louis Armstrong that even interacted with Mozart. It was Jimi Hendrix.
Yes.
That interacted with Mozart.
Now, if there was just a little scene, it's like, oh, well, obviously we need Mozart for the keyboard. Come on, people.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just that one line would have explained, like, let's get Mozart for this.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to have each of these people say, like, oh, we need this person, obviously. Like, kind of like grasp onto... Yeah, well, yeah, that too. But just, like, have an idea of, like, where the story's going and why.
Okay, so we're just going to cut out all the B-plot right now because it doesn't connect to any of the rest of the movie until we end this.
Yeah, until the end, yeah.
So... Then
The
they
story doesn't make sense till the end, Ted.
doesn't make sense at the end, really. I mean, it makes a little bit of sense, but not much.
Not much.
So then they go back and get some woman out of China,
Like a famous
flutist.
player, like what that Chinese sound is. It's like the flute. I don't even know how to describe it.
Predecessor.
Yeah, the predecessor to like how a lot of Chinese music sounded at the time.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they have the Asian scale of music for a reason.
Yeah, yeah. Here we are.
But I have no idea who this woman was.
Me either. And it gets worse from there.
Okay, now when it was, there's this cool Chinese musician lady. I'm like, I was like, oh, okay, that's just someone I don't know in history. There's plenty of those. My understanding of Asian history is, well, to my own heart a little bit better than most people. Still pretty bad.
Yeah.
And very concentrated.
Yeah.
I can tell you a lot about like the samurai era.
Not much else.
And a weird amount about Korean governmental structures.
Okay.
That's about it.
Yeah.
That being said, when they go to the person this Chinese woman thinks is the best drummer of all time, and get a legitimate Neanderthal. I can't say that word.
Neanderthal?
Thank you. So easy a caveman can do it style. Like beating drums in a tent made of leather.
To be fair, he was pretty good.
Was it a he or she?
It was pretty good.
Yeah. I was trying to figure that out.
I don't know.
They. Yeah.
It. Whatever.
The caveman.
The caveman. Woman. The cave person. They were good. Ugh. Yeah,
So that was
that's
the name?
good. Oh, the Kronks. Or the Krunks.
Krunks. Krunks, who is legitimately kind of rocking the primitive drums.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what time. I forget what time period it was exactly, but it was the time period wherein they could make a drum. So they had like animal hide or whatever stretched over like.
People figured that out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, people figured out music very quickly.
Right.
Very quickly, though. To my knowledge, could be wrong here.
Knowledge.
Well, no, like goes up. I don't really know if I was taught that the Greeks were kind of the one, like very early Greeks, like, Bronze Age Greeks were like the first people to make the music scales and everything.
Oh, okay. They're really like.
Yeah, it probably also existed in China independently.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to. It's hard for us to say because most of Western history is, about Western history. So.
Yeah, even though I think we should have Central history.
Central history.
Okay, look.
Do you want decentralized history?
No,
We can talk about Bitcoin again.
No. Because
yeah,
I want to remake the globe with, like, whenever we see a map, I think we should just have America in the center. And then it's...
Do you hate Galileo? Is that also a thing you hate?
No.
Okay, just asking because
so
it seems very...
I don't know, I just like the idea.
The Earth is in the center, obviously.
America's in the
center, obviously.
It's like, are we really part of the East? No, they're across or the West. They're across the ocean from us.
That's fair. That's true, actually. So we're in the center, obviously.
Yeah, we're the center. And then that's its own thing.
Yeah, okay. And then everything else is just extra.
And then it's the other stuff.
Yeah, okay. It's the border.
Yeah, it's like I'm not sure America, like, does it have their roots in that? Of course.
Yeah.
But is it, has it since take that inspiration and took,
love liberties
has
with
it taken Armstrong?
Yeah.
And take it as inspiration, and really change it to a Hendrix? Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the most Amerocentric thing I will say in my entire life, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, I thank God we have it recorded. So,
Yep.
All right, perfect.
I get more defensive of America the farther away I am from America.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Off the podcast when we talked about this. Yes.
Yeah. So, anyways, back to the A plot.
Yes. So
Bill and Ted go into their future again.
Yeah.
To find gay pirate hippie Bill and Ted in a mansion.
Yeah. So.
And
yeah.
Now, you might go, Ted, why are you using gay as an insult? No, no, no. I promise. Look at the photo. I have been to gay bars, and this is...
Very similarly dressed.
It was like, oh, I've seen these outfits before.
Yeah, and also faux British accents.
Yes, and that being said, the reason they had faux British accents was hilarious, because they get like, oh, we summer in medieval England now.
That's a really good excuse.
I agreed. It was good.
I mean, that's thoughtful to their wives. That's like, you know...
It's interesting.
Yeah,
it was clearly a lie.
It was clearly a lie.
Like, I honestly... They handed the current incarnation of Bill and Ted wine, and I legitimately thought they were about to get roofied.
I thought that too. That would have made a lot of sense. Like, and then they steal the time machine and they do some like shenanigans with that or something.
No. Instead, they give them a song that they listen to and they love.
Yeah. And
it's made by someone whose name I can't remember.
Gary Mitchell, something like that. I forget. But it's written by somebody that is not them, and they just try to make them take the song back because it's a song that's really good and they love, and that way they can still technically write the song that's supposed to unite the world, but it's just not a song they made. So no.
And
they still use CDs for some reason.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't honestly think of a reason why they'd give them a CD rather than a USB.
Yeah. Like 2028 or whatever year it was.
Imagine if they handed them a vinyl.
Oh my god, yeah, or like a laser disc. That would have been great.
Oh, here's an 8-track.
Yeah. It's an MP64.
Oh, a wax cylinder.
Oh, that would be amazing.
So, my favorite podcast of all time is called Hello Internet.
Yeah.
It is now defunct. It has not released an episode in over a year.
Oh, that's
but
sad.
They got kind of funny with a lot of things, so they released an episode on vinyl.
That is amazing.
Which then I vinyl booted.
Oh, nice.
Which they call out people who did that in the episode. But then they released an episode on wax cylinders.
That's amazing.
Yes, and one of the guys who bought it, like, put it with his orders, like, I literally work in a museum surrounded by wax cylinder reading equipment while listening to this podcast, so they announced it. It's like, I am clearly the one and only target audience for this.
It's very specific marketing.
Yes.
Very specific. Very niche.
That being said, if they release more episodes, I would buy the equipment.
The wax cylinders.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what? I'd buy that too. Man, that was amazing.
But no, they realize they're being tricked because the owner of the mansion comes home,
sees them, and then calls the cops, who are coincidentally Ted's dad and brother.
Yep. And Bill and Ted decide they need to do something unpredictable, so they cover their heads with buckets, spin around, and jump out a window.
Yeah, that's when Bill pulls out like a revolver.
Oh yeah, before they run away, it's like, okay, hey man, you don't need to pull a gun at us. Yeah, why? Puts the gun away. They start running. Clicks the hammer.
Ah, see, I need the gun.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, they're gonna do that thing. Oh, that thing that we don't know what they did.
But they do, but they can't be from the same timeline as this Bill and Ted.
Yes, because of a lot of reasons. Oh, I don't want to go into it, but yes. So there is that, and then oddly enough, that robot was sent to kill them, kills Ted's dad and also his car.
Yes, cars have souls
and they go to hell.
Yeah, which weirdly enough,
unless that was like a hell transporting laser.
Maybe that would actually make a lot of sense
because they all go to hell regardless.
Yeah, I'm going with hell transporting laser.
Yeah. Which is weird that the future made that.
Look, man, if you're trying to get rid of someone,
send them to hell.
Actually, no, that doesn't work because they can just call somebody
from
hell and bitch them out.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, like her daughter calls her from hell. Yeah. Which we'll get to later how that happens. But
so Bill and Ted go into the future yet again.
Yep.
And find themselves in prison.
Of course, because they got arrested for going into someone's mansion and also killing their own father.
And they are jacked.
Yeah, they look amazing.
Yeah, and they're singing a song that was interesting. It's like "Welcome to the End."
Yes, yes. It's pretty dark, dude. That's not really a song, though.
Oh, I kind of dug
I
it.
dug it too. It's just like they kept on. The joke was like they kept on saying it's not really a song, and then that robot was beat. It was like prison beat by like those inmates.
Yes. Yeah. So Bill and Ted Prisoner Edition try to go take the time machine by force. Finally,
Yeah.
because the other thing I was wondering is if they were going to get different versions of their future selves to make a band themselves.
Oh, that would have been really smart, actually. Like you get like all the different Teds and Bills, and
Mm-hmm.
just like they combine together into like the ultimate song. See, I feel like there was like a lot of different ideas over the years, and then they're probably saying some of them right now,
Yeah.
and then they're like, they have daughters.
Well, I feel like that probably was going to be the end game all the time. Like their super Bill and Ted band wouldn't work, and their daughters have to save the day.
Oh, by remixing it and making it sound cool, or something like that.
Which would
Whatever.
have been actually more interesting than what they went with.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Because then they would have had like something other than like a knowledge of music theory and like
Some sort of like other action that made them
look
integral.
like they have like two personality traits. They speak like their parents and clearly understand music.
Yeah, and they're also persuasive. They have charisma checks out the days. They managed to get Death back on the team.
True, but also they know Death.
Oh yeah, because like Death was like kind of their uncle.
Yeah, like it was
Uncle
like,
Death.
yeah, he came over sometimes. They worked with them.
Yeah.
But also they understand music.
Oh god, I remember like the end of the second movie. It was like they're holding the kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So literally, literally they met them.
Yeah, they knew Death.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
That wasn't like that wasn't a weird thing for them. It's like, oh, we're in hell. Oh, we knew that was a thing.
Yeah.
We knew this was a possibility.
Why did they go to hell though? Is like the
The
biggest
hell
question.
transporting laser.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, you're right. That's the only way that really makes sense because they're not bad people.
See if that or like
They did something.
I was thinking like, oh no, Mormons are right.
Oh, the
But
South
they
Park
can't
answer.
be because we saw heaven.
Yes, and that's not just Mormons. You have like Mother
We
Teresa
have
up there.
aliens up there.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's true. We do have aliens up there. We have oh, I wish they were in this movie.
Yeah, look, I don't like there's a fine line on how many throwbacks you can put in a remake like this. 0 is not the answer.
Death.
Death is a recurring character.
In only the last movie.
Yeah, but he's a pretty major one. Like he's part of the band.
True. I mean, it's not like they also got back, like, I don't know, Socrates and like everything else.
Once
like
again,
that.
if they just had like one thing where it's like, Genghis Khan like high fives them in their history, that would have been a nice little Easter egg.
That would have been nice. You're right. Or Genghis Khan like tries to take like one of their daughters, and they're like, "Whoa, Genghis, whoa."
Less comfortable with that one.
I mean, that would have been more avant-garde.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's the direction I would take this movie.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, anyways, they flee and go back to their present.
Yes, for like a little bit there. And that is to
I don't even remember.
I think it's like to see their kids, I think, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's for some reason. But
And then they all die.
so after their kids got all like the band
Oh,
together.
that's right.
Yeah.
Then they open a garage door and the robot blasts them all to hell.
Yeah, the robot kills. By the way, the grand leader or the elder sees all of this like on the computer screen as it happens, and it kills her daughter, Mozart, Jimi Hendrix, Caveman, and a bunch of other people, along with Bill and Ted's daughters.
Yeah, Armstrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was his brother, I
Yeah.
think. Like, there's a lot of people that
There's a lot of guilt on this robot.
Yeah,
He just
this-
killed a father. Killed like.
Yeah, and then when Bill and Ted confront the robot. The robot finds them and apologizes.
After they go, more to the future to find their old
Old
selves.
selves on their deathbed who have discovered the song and handed it to them.
Yeah, and like a little USB, which would have been preferable. Like,
which is interesting that we used USBs at that time. I mean, nowadays we use pigeons again. So
yeah, it's weird how time goes backwards.
Yeah, I mean, I sent a message by human sacrifice earlier today.
Yeah, it got to me. Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome.
Oh, those minifigures are really cool.
I'm glad you like them.
Yeah. How many kids did you have to sacrifice again?
Just one.
Oh, that's a good deal.
He had it coming.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
You know what you did in hell.
Yeah. Don't tell Death to come back up here, please. Let's rock.
Yeah, hardcore disagree. If you want to play your 45-minute bass solos, I will listen to at least one. I can't promise a second, but I will definitely listen to one.
I'll listen to Pale Beyond the Pale.
That's a damn good metal
sound. It is.
Like, if that was the title of an album,
I would listen to it. I'd listen to it. So they end up going to they get confronted by the robot who is about to kill them, but then says, like, error, you have the song. By the way, sorry, I've killed your family.
And then he can't bear the guilt, so he tries to kill himself.
Yes.
And Bill and Ted run to get in the blast radius as their wives appear through time travel and watch their husbands die.
Or get just transported to hell, because that's what the laser does.
Yeah, that's kind of a distinction without a difference, now I think of it. I mean, there's a bit of a difference, I suppose.
It's fine. It's fine.
So then we find out the robot has a name as he's apologizing in hell.
Yeah. Yeah, good old Dennis.
Yeah, which hell looks way different than it used to.
Yeah, and another odd thing about Dennis, by the way, which is like a weird throwaway line that they have in this, is that it's Rufus's daughter's ex-boyfriend's name.
Yes. The mother...
Ex-fiancé.
Yeah,
sorry.
Rufus's daughter's mother made the robot and named it after him.
Could it just be her ex-fiancé?
I think it was kind of hinted at, but I don't think so.
I think it is, because why would he go to hell?
Because it was the hell-transporting laser.
Yeah, you're right again. You're right.
It's not that he has a soul.
It's just that he's transported to hell because of the laser. This all makes sense now when you think about it as just a hell-transporting laser. Anything else would be dumb and stupid, and they shouldn't have done.
Even they admit it's stupid in the movie.
Yeah.
All the demons, who are very friendly, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, they're great.
They
yeah.
give them directions.
Yeah, and they say, like, oh, those girls were really nice. Like, they had a whole group with them. I saw Jimi Hendrix. I got his autograph.
Yeah, the demons were weirdly polite.
Yeah. They're really nice.
Like, oh, robot in hell? Don't see that every day.
Yeah. It's like, that's really weird.
Which, interesting enough, going to 40K, that means the Mechanicum is wrong and machines don't have souls.
Oh, you're right. You're right, Ted. When you're right, you're right.
That was, weirdly enough, what I was thinking about when I saw that.
Oh, is that going to be something related to a game we're going to be playing after this movie?
Maybe. We'll find out.
Okay, we'll find out.
It won't.
Okay.
Well, maybe, actually. It's probably going to be another world-building RPG, which implies that we could totally make that one of the ground-level rules.
Oh, we could. Okay, fantastic. So, they're in hell. They meet their dad again.
Well, they meet their family, their daughters, and their band.
Yeah, their impromptu band.
And then go to Death, and we've kind of already covered that. The
interaction.
Daughters persuade.
Yeah, Death to rejoin the Wild Stallions.
Yep, and apparently Bill and Ted at one point sued Death.
Well, to be fair to them and Death, he was playing 40-minute bass solos.
Yeah.
To be fair to them.
We did see in the credits of the last movie that he did have a solo career for a while.
Yeah, and then he was trying to take the name Wild Stallion. So I kind of love that, actually.
Yeah, no, that seems very realistic.
What, you want to reapply the what was it? What did you say? Like the restraining order against me? Is this too close?
Which brings up the question: why did they have a restraining order
on Death? And who would enact that?
And also, if Death was okay with that and like abided by it, could they die?
Could oh wow. Yeah. I don't know. That's a really good question. He's just playing tetherball by himself at the end of this.
It's
so
really
I don't know.
Sad.
Yeah, it's really like hopscotch and tetherball.
Look, as an only child,
which I think is just like a low effort
And look, as an only child who spent like nights playing the game of life board game by himself, I somewhat understand.
You want to get married, Ted? Oh, I got married. Hey. Oh, but I gotta save money for retirement. Oh, car crash. Good thing I have insurance. You don't have insurance. Don't cheat myself. Ah.
No, I would never cheat myself in that game.
Yeah, okay.
Oh no,
You play fair.
Yeah. Also, the optimal strategy in life is number 1, do not go to college. Number 2, buy all the insurance.
Yeah, that's about right. That's optimal life right there. Yeah. Yeah. So they get out of there in the car that was transported to hell by the laser.
Yes, and then they go back and they find themselves on a highway, which is actually the location they're supposed to be in.
Yep, MP64.
And the timeline's going crazy. And with the help of Kid Cudi, they figure out what they need to do is let their daughters do the concert and help them out. And they need to go to all points in time simultaneously.
And give them all instruments to play along.
Yes, so it's literally the song that unites everybody.
Because everyone's playing.
This brings up a lot of weird questions, including number 1, most people I don't think can play an instrument. Number 2, where did all these instruments come from? Though I guess if they had infinite...
Number 3, what did Hitler play?
Not a thought I had. Actually, I actually assumed he could play an instrument.
I assume he could play an instrument, but like it's also what did you give him?
You know what?
He's an artist. Ish.
I am literally looking up if Hitler could play an instrument.
Okay, I'm going to bet no.
I'm gonna go with yes.
Okay, we'll see how this goes here. I'm gonna say violin if I had to guess anything.
He actually thoroughly enjoyed playing the piano.
That was my second guess. So you know what? Not too shabby on that guess right there.
He also could play the bassoon.
Wow, I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah. Well, here we are. So ramifications aside, they managed to save the day. Whole universe
God,
is.
This brings up so many worse questions.
Yeah. Well.
Oh God, what did they bring people in concentration camps?
Can you imagine that scene where where Bill or Ted's just like, "Hey, dude, I know you can't move your fingers right now from lack of food, but just try to play this banjo."
Or could you give it to them? Could you give it to those same people prior to their internment?
Yeah, instead, and then they could.
The implications of this are terrifying now that I think about it. It's like, what do you do with someone like lived till like 3 days? Does that count?
They're playing their heartbeat, I guess. Like, I don't know, man.
Dennis dances, so I don't know.
Dennis does dance. That's true, and it's a heartwarming little scene of itself.
Oh man, the more I think about this, the worse it gets.
Let's finish this. Let's finish this. All right. So they managed to save the day, and they saved the whole entire universe from imploding upon itself.
And then we get 2 very musical credits.
Yeah, which is, I would say, some of the best parts of the movie.
Yes, and now Kevin and I normally really like the credits in general.
Yeah, that's true.
The
Addams Family.
This was legitimately one of the better parts of the movie.
Yeah, very true, actually.
And that's not a good thing.
No, this movie is, the more I talk about it, the kind of like more negative I kind of get on it.
Yeah, so we gave it a 6 out of 10, but out of let's see, how many members of the band were there? Bill and Ted, little ones.
Yes.
Hendrix, Armstrong, Beethoven, flute playing woman,
Caveman, Cave It.
Is there anyone else? Oh, Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi, for a second or two. He just introduced them, but he counts.
Yeah. So out of the 10 members of the band, because that just worked, I guess. Oh, Death, 11.
Oh, okay, that's better. Okay, 4 out of 11.
Yeah, about. And, yeah, knocking off one of those points for, it being worse than thinking, and another point for wasted potential.
Yeah, there could have been a lot of fun with this movie, but it just seems to kind of meander and not really have a good follow-through with any of its plot points.
It's Yeah, it's really disappointing in a lot of ways.
I like the message that music can unite the world. I mean, that's also been said and told and done like 1,000 times in different sorts of media. So there's not much it gives. It's just fun to see Keanu Reeves and back in that role, however disappointing it is.
I'm not sure it is.
It's fun to see him like not be John Wick for like at least a scene or two.
Yeah, I guess, but
Go back to his roots. That's
That's
like what
what-
he was like. Him and that and like the Matrix, which the Matrix is not great. Just want to say that out loud.
you know what? I have to rewatch it. I have not seen it in a long, long time.
Matrix 2 and Matrix 3 are really bad.
I know Matrix 3 was bad.
Matrix 2 is not good. Has the highway scene, that's about it.
I'm trying to remember things that were in Matrix 2 that aren't the
Highway scene, exactly, right?
That's the one with the keymaker, right? And they have like the cool like.
Yes.
Is that the no? They have like the super fight scene.
What super fight scene though?
The one where like Neo does like the super like kung fu moves against 1,001.
Oh, like
or is that number 3?
That's number. It's all it. Well, they reuse like those two. Like, well, not reuse, but they reuse the concepts between those two like fights because you have Agent Smith or like whatever his name is, and he's in the second movie. He has like that whole courtyard scene where there's like a 1,000 of him. He fights like one Neo, and then you have the other movie where there's like 1,000,000,000 of him, and he fights one Neo, and it's all the same. It just has a cool highway scene. That's the best part of that second movie.
I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna like even the diehard fans of that movie would 100% say
Yeah.
that's the best scene. Also, not a very good representation of Plato's shadows.
Yeah, it's
Also, which is not a great philosophy work either.
no, and that's like the problem with the Wachowskis. Really, it's. I mean, we can and could talk about a lot of that, but
I would either need to read the book.
again,
That was a weird phase of my high school. There was a very interesting time where I like went from basically illiterate to hyper literate, and I decided to like prove it by reading weird shit.
right.
That's why I read the Divine Comedy in 11th grade.
I like the Divine Comedy though.
It gets progressively worse.
It does, but I like it though. I like it.
Yeah, no, same. It is really hard to make a compelling story about the manifestations of spirits being really happy that don't remember most of their lives.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's not a lot to. Well, man. Okay, so we're getting off topic, but overall, movie's disappointing. But
Yeah.
you know what's not disappointing? Spending time with you, my friend Ted, and also spending time with you, wonderful listeners. And I'm glad to say we're going to be doing this more often, and we're going to have more videos coming out.
Yep. Thank you very much. I hope everyone had a wonderful time. Have your pet spayed or neutered.
What about that white gold?
Unless you have a purebred.
Yes, unless you have a purebred, don't do that. Good night, everybody.
Good night.